Welcome back to the Shipyard. Today, the Stargazer. This was another collective prize ship. It was for month 3 of that series. Earlier today, we talked about the Raven, and that was month 2. Long time ago, we talked about the Timur, and that was month 1. But yeah, so we've kind of covered everything now. The Stargazer is an interesting ship, a nice pack, kind of a weird pack, but a pack if you're willing to get a little creative with it. There's some reasonable things you can do in the game. I kind of classify the pack as a whole as more mission playable, kind of fringe era, this weird era. But I like what exists here. So let's dive in, and we'll talk more about it as we go. The Stargazer, of course, was Picard's ship before the Enterprise D, and it's a constellation class. It's the 2 nacelles on top, 2 on the bottom. It looks interesting. It's a 3143 ship, 180 arc. You know, nice ship, good maneuverability. 1 reverse. It works. A nice selection of green maneuvers, 2 white turns. Trust me, on a 180 arc, that's a big thing. You get a lot of stuff in arc very quickly. But the named ability here, during the activation phase, you may disable one of your active shields to remove 1 auxiliary power token beside your ship. It's kind of a weird ability, but now that this would have to take place at the start of the activation phase, you can actually dial in a red maneuver with an aux power beside your ship, because you then disable a shield, remove that aux power, and then you can perform your red maneuver. It gives you some interesting flexibility, and I like that in this ship. It doesn't help you with shooting or living longer, but it helps you be less predictable in your maneuvers, and that much is intriguing. Pretty standard upgrade bar here. Crew weapon tech, standard fed action bar. 22 points is a bit pricey, but with a recost would be something. Generic, you lose the tech, and I guess that fits thematically. It is an older style ship, so losing a tech slot makes sense, I suppose. Our captain of Jean-Luc Picard adds a crew slot to the upgrade bar, and I'm all for that. Also, the action is disable all of your remaining shields and immediately perform an additional green or white maneuver. So there's a lot of utility in that. I consider this version of Picard far more mission playable, because you need specific instances where you want extra maneuverability. There's certain organized play events, definitely certain missions that come in the various packs, where getting extra moves is everything. But for the most part, in standard combat, there's just better ways of getting these extra moves or better effects that you want. Plus, there's better Picards. Ahab Picard, Discount Picard, Free Action Picard. They're all just better Picards. This is still an intriguing Picard, but yeah, I can't highly recommend it. If none of those other Picards existed and this was our version of Picard, it wouldn't be terrible. It just wouldn't be great. Now, the Picard Maneuver, as a talent, I've actually used in some organized play, or not maybe organized play. I know I've used it in missions. I used it in Kobayashi Maru. But this says action if you performed a 3, 4, or 5 straight. You discard this to immediately perform a 5 straight. Okay, that alone would not be great, but Here's the other trick. You place an Ox power token beside your ship, but all attacks against your ship this round are at -4 attack dice. Now, rule of 3 comes in, makes that really -3, but a lot of ships will boost their attack dice. So if their printed is 3 and they boost to 4, they roll 0. Yeah, it's all about modifiers. I really like Picard Maneuver because it's an extra maneuver that makes you relatively safe. It doesn't guarantee that you live, but it sets you up to be in range, and it helps you live more. Okay, tactical station. Now this has been errated because, well, the version that came out was scary good. But this is a 4-point weapon. You add a weapon to the ship's upgrade bar. When attacking, you can disable for an extra attack die, or you can discard for 2 more attack dice. It is a one per ship, and it feels about right. Yeah, it's maybe a little pricey. Again, I might like a time token version of this, but time tokens aren't the answer to everything. Tactical stations is a nice card to spring on your opponent and go, hey, this attack right now that I need to hopefully kill you dead, yeah, I'm adding 2 more dice to that. So it's hard to argue with tactical station, but at 4 points, I'm almost never buying it. I'm looking to combine it with Sakona to discount it to 2, maybe also with Calvin Hudson, so that it's a 1-point card. And now I'm getting a steal. So, yeah. Secondary Impulse Reactor is a 1-point tech. Again, these 1-point cards typically have value, if for no other reason than they're 1 point and they fill a gap. During the activation phase, if you reveal a red maneuver and you have an Ox power token beside your ship, you may disable this card to perform that maneuver with no penalty. Now, what does no penalty mean? Well, it certainly means your opponent doesn't get to choose your maneuver. And it should also probably mean that you don't put an Ox power token beside your ship, because that's also a penalty. Yeah, that's a pretty good effect for 1 point. Now, should you build around this card? No, you should not. But if you have that open 1 point, this is an option for it. I also like Escape Pod as fairly generic 1-pointers to go in there. Jack Crusher is the crew from this pack. He's 2 points, and boy, I don't know that I've ever used Jack Crusher. But during the modified defense dice step, you may discard this card and spend an evade token to add 2 results to your roll. So basically, he is a +1 evade, conditional upon you spending your action to evade. Yeah. I like his timing. It's modified defense dice step. You already know what your opponent rolled. You know what you've rolled. You know the damage that's coming in. You just have to have already built in such a way that you're going to take an evade action to make any use of him whatsoever. And I just don't see that happening most of the time, right? The defensive cards that exist in this game are Hood Riker, Sulu, and things that add shields. And by extension, Jack Crusher adds a shield. The problem is it's the conditional nature of him. You have to do something in order to get that card, and that's what makes it tough. Again, Jack Crusher doesn't fit my play style, but that doesn't mean that he is the worst thing in the world. There are times that I evade, but He's not the be all end all. You know, he could be interesting in combination with Valeris. And I'll pull up Valeris here. Because after your ship executes a green maneuver, you may perform an evade action as a free action. So at least there you're getting evade as that free action. Now that's pricey. That's a 5-point combo. But you're at least getting something there. It's a stretch, but it's a stretch I might be willing to make. Again, it just kind of it just kind of depends on the build you're working for. There's something there. Maybe in a NX01 build with enhanced hull plating, you could go down that road. Certainly an option. Does it make it great? Probably not. But yeah. So overall, this pack is interesting. It used to be the only way to get Tactical Station. Now we get that in the starter set. Picard Maneuver, certainly playable. JeanLuc Picard is interesting, and the Stargazer is interesting. So I guess I would classify this as an interesting pack. By no means a necessary pack, just an interesting pack. But yeah, that's the Stargazer in a nutshell. I think it's aged fine. I don't think it's gotten better or worse. It's just these cards are what they are. But yeah, that's it for me today. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, we'll see you around the shipyard. Take care.